everyone, what is up? It is Balloon. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you doing? Hope you're all having a great Thursday so far. We're going to get into this most recent drama between Trisha Paytas, Keemstar, Ethan Klein's mum, Donna Klein, of course, because it's all been going on still over the last few days, and I've kind of held off making a video about it because I had a feeling that some more things were going to happen, and of course it has. So now I'm going to be here to make this video talking about all the recent drama that's been going on with the Kleins, Trisha Paytas, Keemstar, all that stuff. So let's get straight into it. First of all, Trisha Paytas uploaded a video talking about going on Keemstar's podcast, and also Trisha then revealed what it was, the text that Moses had received from Donna Klein, Hila's mum. Hila and Moses' mum sent a text to Moses talking about, oh, if Hila has a miscarriage, then I blame you, Trisha, because of all the stress with all this fighting that's been going on between Trisha and Ethan. Here's the clip of that now for you.
I really just want to make this video because the lies just continue. I thought, okay, there'll be a lie here, there'll be a lie there, and it's just like, you know, they always say best to not engage, and I do agree. So this is my last video to Ethan and the Kleins and his mother. First and foremost, today they put up an episode where the mother proudly and still stood by her text message to me, was that if someone miscarries, that she would blame me and Moses for putting stress on her. And Ethan said, I actually agree with that. By that logic, which miscarriages are the majority of the time an embryo defect, a genetic defect. By that same logic, how come Ethan isn't held to that same standard? Continuously engaging, not only engaging, but harassing the person that's suing him. Not only is Ethan getting sued, but now the family's podcast is getting sued, and his wife's company, Hila's company, Teddy Fresh, is getting sued. How is that, like, continuously having his pregnant wife sitting next to him while he's combating all these people, just attacking person after person, including the first one about me and Keemstar, which had nothing to do with him. All of this because I went on a podcast. That text message was before any of this all happened. It was sent to Moses, and that's why Moses decided to disengage with at least her. She has no relation to Moses. That's his sister's mother-in-law. There's no relation. She tweeted, she constantly called me, you know, harassed me on family's podcast and then on Twitter, and I finally stood up for myself, and I said, you know, you need to stop talking. What you say is absolutely disgusting. She tweeted something along the lines of, like, you know, can't wait to go to the wedding. Not, she was never invited, but also, like, not only did she text Moses that, she texted other people in Moses' family that. I'm so sick of seeing you, I'm like shaking, sorry, privately recording a conversation in his house. No, we both agreed to record a podcast.
The further you get along, the less likely, like, miscarriages. But in the first 3 months, miscarriage can be extremely common.
It can be very common. And when you're trying to get pregnant for a very long time, it can be
scary.
It can be heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
So Trisha just kept on going on and on and on with some of the things that she was saying. I didn't understand.
Well, to be your team, Ethan, obviously. Your team, Ethan and Hila. So
I know,
Trisha
but
would
still,
say
she said some things that were just. I'm sorry. Okay. You're my son.
Yes.
Hila's my daughter-in-law.
Of course.
I'm a grandma. You know, Teddy is my son and Moon, and my granddaughter Eleanor, same thing. And the baby in your wife's tummy is, you know, it's really, it's important. I'm grandma.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I got so upset with all the stress.
By the way, and I didn't know she sent this until, God, how did I find out? But I'll be honest, I was a little horrified to know that you were texting
It wasn't
Moses.
It was one time.
But you know what? I also, on the other hand, I get it. I get why you sent it.
Well, I was so upset because of some of the things that she had just said.
Go ahead. Read the.
I sent a private message on Messenger to Moses.
You texted Moses. I mean, it's not.
Well, I didn't really text. Is that called texting?
Yes.
Messaging? Is that texting?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is everybody.
Go ahead.
This is what I wrote.
Cover your ears. This is it. The worst thing you've ever heard.
The most horrible thing you've ever heard. Okay.
Well, it's
Moses.
Okay.
Moses, if your sister has a miscarriage because of this stress, I will hold you and Trisha responsible. Stop this nonsense. Enough. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the message didn't catch on fire. It was so horrid. Oh my God.
Well, okay. I mean, on one hand, that's obviously a strongly worded message to send.
It was, and that's how I felt.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. She was causing you so much stress.
The truth is, we were all thinking it, and I wasn't going to write it. So when I saw you write it, I was like, she shouldn't have sent the text, but like,
sorry.
I was thinking the same thing, honestly.
Sorry.
All facts, no printer.
Yeah.
All facts, no printer, right?
Yeah. That would have been a good time.
Thanks, Dan.
$100.
Dan beat me to it.
Thanks, Dan. She was just about to say.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. Not.
So like I mean, yeah, obviously that's a lot to tell someone, but at the same time, I get, so that's the message. I don't know. You guys can judge for yourself.
So that was the text message that Trish said was so evil and so awful. Trisha had been on Twitter saying that it was really bad, it was so awful. How dare Donna send us such an evil message? Honestly, I really don't think that was an evil message of Donna to send to Moses or Trisha, because to be honest, stress during pregnancy, especially in early stages, can be a key factor in miscarriages, if I'm honest. So to me, I don't think that Donna was being at all unreasonable with that text. Then you also had Trisha talking about what it was like going on Keemstar's podcast, Mum's Basement. Now, Trisha is saying, Keemstar's trying to make amends. He's trying to sort of be better when he's talking about mental health or SA. Honestly, I really don't believe that until I see it from Keemstar, because as we all know, Keemstar has made many, many damning comments about people who are survivors of SA. There's a lot of victim blaming, victim shaming on the part of Keemstar, and honestly, that's something that I really dislike. That is not something that I can respect someone for. Keemstar, he just doesn't generally believe victims and believe survivors. So for me, when I hear that Keemstar's changing, I'll believe it when I see it.
Keemstar on that podcast admitted he had bad takes on mental health, and then a few days later apologized to SA victims. Not only me, but Gabby Hanna went on the podcast and Tana Mojo. Those episodes are not out yet. And he said having those guests on, talking, because we've all been victims of SA, and talking about what it's like because he's never experienced it, he's beginning to understand it better and how poor his takes were. And I know a lot of people are like, we don't care, we just hate him, and people just love to villainize people and not allow anyone to grow. But I go on there to talk about my stuff, to talk about my story, involving everyone. I made a decision to disengage from drama, but these are gross lies, and the harassment is nonstop, including people in Moses's private life, private records of Moses being brought up on the H3 subreddit. That is complete doxing. So Ethan and Gila can no longer say that it's my fans too. No, it's this on the H3 Reddit, all of this doxing. Donna proudly admitting that she will still blame me and Moses. If I don't want to say it. The fact that she even texted that is so gross, because not only is it personal, put that aside, but it's a common, you're perpetuating that this is a common reason for miscarriages, and other people who miscarry will have that on them, that, maybe I was too stressed, maybe it was this, when there are multiple reasons that it could happen.
Then we're going to get into this. The next thing that I'm going to move on to is Rich Lux, because Rich Lux recently came out in one of his drama videos where he was also talking about the whole Ethan Klein, Trisha Paytas situation. And Rich claims that Trisha said during that whole fight with Hair by Jay, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, all of the fighting about the Vegas trip that Trisha went on last Valentine's with Jeffree Star and others, Trisha actually accused Rich Lux of stealing their camera. Now, I'm a big fan of Rich Lux, and for me, where I stand with this is just another one of Trisha Paytas' many lies. It seems that Trish is unable to keep their story straight about anything that happened on that Vegas trip.
I've seen where Trisha Paytas tries to hold back, but then she ends up going all in, right? So she's upset about something, like she'll hold it in for a little bit, but then it just kind of spirals, okay? That's just the best way I can put it to you, and I feel like that's like a I just feel like that's not the right word, right? I just kind of feel like she starts to spiral, and she kind of just says stuff like, would this happen, when it kind of did, but didn't. That makes sense? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of I don't know how to, it's like a half-truth. A lot of half-truths come out, or something like that. And I'll give you a perfect example. The time she accused me of stealing her camera, okay, and she brought it to my attention a year later, and I'm like, girl, I don't have your camera. If I stole your camera and you have receipts and proof that I stole your camera, you would have made a video that day. You would have been tweeting and all that stuff that day, and you waited a whole year to bring it up, and I got all this hate and all this backlash over this camera. My video quality is still just as crappy as it was back then, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I digress from that. She was angry about something about Jeffree Star in Vegas and how she was treated. And then it kind of went, oh yeah, and then the bag and my camera. And it was kind of girl, you know what I'm saying? It's you would think, I remember I was so angry because I was like, that's not true. That is a lie. But I was like, if I come out and say something, no one's going to believe me. You know, Trisha Paytas was really, really, really well loved at that time. And so now that with the Ethan video, he oh my God, there's so many times that he was look, she's contradicting herself. Look, she's lying here. Look, she said this, but then here she is saying that. And I was like, finally, there's proof of it, right? And then not just one or two or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 12, substantial amount of proof that she said stuff and it's a lie or a half-truth, or that's not how it went down, out of her just being angry.
I think where we are now with Trisha Paytas is a lot of people have started to see through all the many lies that Trisha has been telling in recent years and basically throughout their whole career on YouTube. Come on, it is all getting a bit sus now. People are seeing that Trisha has contradicted themselves over here, over there, and now people are all putting 2 and 2 together and being like, oh well, this is who Trish really is, and they're not actually making any effort to actually change. Even today, Trisha Paytas posted a quote on their Instagram, which I find to be kind of like them trying to excuse themselves from their bad behaviour. The quote reads, "Emotional abandonment in childhood leads to insatiable hunger for attention in adulthood. It can feel like your need for attention is never satisfied, no matter how much you are actually receiving." Now I'm like, damn girl, Trish, this is true for Trish. Trish definitely related to this quote, and I think that's why they posted it. But there comes a point in your adult life where you can't hide behind your childhood trauma as an excuse for your shitty behaviour. And I think that is where Trish is finding themselves now. People in the comments are saying things like, there is a difference between a reason and an excuse. And I definitely do agree with that. There comes a point in time where you as an adult have to take responsibility for your mental health and your behaviour, and clearly Trish is not there yet. Trish is still doing what they've always done, which is being shitty and contradicting themselves, ruining friendships, sabotaging 10 odd year friendships like they did with Shane Dawson. There is so much that is super problematic about Trisha Paytas. And it's interesting now when you sit and watch clips of what they've said in the past versus what they say now. It's interesting to watch how Trish's stories always change. Even this, there's a clip on one of Trisha's recent podcast episodes where they talk about schizophrenia, because previously they've come out and said they're diagnosed with schizophrenia after coming out and saying they've been diagnosed with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. So for me, I was suspicious about Trish coming out saying they had schizophrenia from the start. So now to see this clip of Trish saying, oh, actually, yeah, I don't have schizophrenia at all, I'm like, where is the apology for the people who actually live with schizophrenia? You know, to me, this is Trish using mental health as a weapon for their shitty behavior. And it turns out that they don't even have this particular mental health disorder. So this is trolling, expert trolling, extreme trolling, whatever you want to call it, it's trolling. And honestly, I'm really, really disappointed that Trish would use something so bad, such as schizophrenia, to get views and clicks and attention.
I was just like, well, I'm schizophrenic. Like, I'm hearing voices. I'm schizophrenic. Check. I am, in fact, not. And a lot of people have been saying that. So, like,
imagine being Ethan Klein right now. You've sat next to Trisha Paytas this whole time on the Frenemies podcast. And now that Trisha has kind of sabotaged that friendship with Ethan, they're all going to be family. Ethan, Ela, Moses, Trisha. How do you fix this? You know, I feel like they really need a lot of family therapy to fix this one. It's quite interesting to me to sit back and listen to this stuff, because how do you even fix a relationship where somebody like Trisha has continually lied about what they're going through with their mental health? They've trolled, they've contradicted themselves. How do you fix a relationship? Because it's like you don't really know who that person really is. You don't know who Trisha really is at their core if they're out here publicly lying about so much. Also, on the Families podcast, Ethan actually announced that it would be the last episode of Families, the most recent Families episode. He said they just decided to kind of end on a high, which I totally understand. And to be honest, being in Ethan's position right now, I think that's kind of difficult. Ethan is in kind of a difficult place because all of this family drama with his mum Donna, with Trisha, this is all played out very publicly.
I think that we should end while the show is good. There's a big part of me that's like, we could keep this going forever because it's so fun and nice. But I think we have to end while the show is good.
Like Seinfeld.
Exactly like Seinfeld.
Your fans are fantastic, whether it's communicating online or whether it's them coming up to us on purpose. That's one thing Mom doesn't like about new mask mandate. She's recognized much less now with covering her face, although someone recognized her even with the mask on.
I will say my mom loves when people come say hi. She tells
I
the whole story. She goes, I'm going to take pictures so I can show it on the show.
I know.
Tell everybody.
They're so sweet when they come up to me and introduce themselves and tell me how much they love your show. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the fans are great. Thanks for your support of families. And if you disagree with Ethan's decision, flood that inbox.
Okay, my loves, that is it from me on this video. I'm going to say, do let me know what you think about all the drama in the comments down below. Do you think it's the right decision for Ethan to now end the Families podcast, given that there's been so much kind of family drama aired very publicly? What do you think is going to happen with Trisha Paytas? Do you think that they are now going to face consequences for all the lies and half-truths that they've been telling? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well. Love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.